Hey, folks, I am Chuck the Bureaucrat, and welcome to one of my early sessions of this, at work with the bureaucrat. I kind of figure that there are people who do those Let's Play live streams. Well, here I do Let's Work live streams. And I do this for three reasons. The first one is that um, I figure that one of the best ways to learn how to just do all the stuff that we have to do is by watching other people work, right? You can just kind of look over somebody's shoulder and you start noticing how they push the buttons and get things done. So that's the first one, is to offer a glimpse into how I do the analysis that I use to produce my videos. The second one is that, like, I know there's a lot of people out there who have, like, they've got their own insights. And in fact, there have been, even in these early videos, there's been instances where people have suggested, hey, like me, maybe you need to look at this, which is awesome because what it does is it guarantees that I'm getting closer to where I need to be. Then there's a third reason, and that is, like, if I'm going to be on my computer and I'm going to be doing stuff, and there's somebody out there who has a question, like, I'm perfectly happy to stop whatever it is that I'm doing or pause it and address that question. So if you have questions, I'm more than happy to field them. So today what I'm going to be working on is a question from somebody that I've kind of boiled it down to: what is the best investment mix for somebody who is deployed? And I'll be 100% honest here, I haven't looked at this in years. So most of what we're going to be doing today is kind of digging through, like, the rules in order to get an understanding of what they are, so that I can then convert that into something that's more palatable. So if you're interested, let's have some fun. Oh, and I wanted to ask you one thing. Um, I picked up a new mic specifically to try to drown out the background noise of the airport that I live beside. And um, if you can, you drop a comment in the chat or whatever. Let me know if that's working, because aircraft are taking off and hopefully you can't hear them. All right, let's go. Yeah, so I have not moved on to having uh, a dual monitor setup where I can kind of have keep track of what's going on, um, but without you guys seeing. But um, we're getting there, right? So for now, what I'm doing is I just have two windows open side by side so I can see the chat. All right, what am I looking for? I'm looking for. Yeah, let's start with a savings deposit program with DFAS. I think that's a good start. All right. As always, one of the things that you want to look for, well, there's really two things, but one of the first things you want to look for whenever you're looking for government data is you want to see this banner, an official website of the United States. And here's how you know. Pretty much you know because it's .gov. Special rules for that. And then the other thing that you always want to watch out for is that you're not looking at archived data. A lot of times what happens is the government will archive web pages that the search engine optimization is such that um, they pop up at the top of the list even though they're no longer valid. All right, so size established by members of your firms. Designated comment zones, the opportunity to build financial savings. Amounts up to 10,000 can be deposited, earning 10% interest annual. Must be receiving hostile fire pay and deployed at least 30 days or 1 day in each 3 consecutive. Withdrawal requests may be made. Withdrawal members must include names, EFT information. Members who close their accounts only after you can close your accounts only after departing. Interest will continue to accrue on the account up to 90 days after departure. Should the 90-day period end on any day other than the last minute, it should be members in a combat zone may withdraw accrued interest over $10,000 principal quarterly. Withdrawals of funds on deposit may be made in emergency only when the wealth should be So let's earning 10% annually, but the question I almost immediately have here is that, like, how long does that last? So one of the goofy things is, like, there's very often there'll be a couple of web pages that provide, different takes on the same information. All right, establish, provide members the opportunity to invest when serving in a designated combat zone or receiving hostile fire pay. After a member has served in a covered area for 30 consecutive days, the member is qualified to begin making deposits. This is limited to the amount earned beginning with the first day after a minimum of $5 and a maximum of 10 in unallotted current pay and allowances may be deposited. Deposit amounts outside this range will be rejected. Yeah, so this is, like, I guess the important thing here is you can't just walk in and dump $10,000 in the first day you're eligible. You have to earn that money and then deposit. SDP interest compounds monthly and is paid at 10% on balances up to $10,000. Any in excess, no interest. Deposits will be made by payroll allotment Eagle Cash card. Allotments may be established by visiting your administrative finance office. Allotment will be terminated upon this member's request or when it is reported as departing the combat zone. Allotments will not systematically stop when you reach $10,000. To avoid over-depositing, should stop the allotment. Collections may be processed in theater for members choosing to make a deposit using Eagle Cash. Any service member from any branch of service may make these contributions. The maximum amount that can be deposited in any single transaction is the combined pay total of all military pay accrued and paid during the 30 days immediately preceding the date of deposit. The regulation does authorize the member to deposit more than 1 month only if the member presents written approval from their commander with the deposit. This approval must attest that mission requirements. Okay. All right. Specifies that the member's initial deposit is limited to the amount earned beginning with the first after. As soon as they were eligible, utilizing any pay during. Okay. All right. So this is some good stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a blank. I always like to kind of work with blank PowerPoint. A blank PowerPoint slide and just sort of clip in the relevant information. So one of the first things that I do is I'm just going to paste in the text of where I'm getting this from. And I'm going to back that up with a clip. All right. Okay. And then there's a couple of pieces here. At this point, what I'm really doing is I'm just grabbing everything. want to make sure that I can still see my chat window. So I'm kind of, yeah, because so big question is if anybody is out there listening and you can hear aircraft, that's what I want to know, because I got this, I got a, what is it, a monodirectional microphone, and I want to see how that works. Now, I think that there's like a background hum that I got to deal with somehow, but I haven't worked that one out yet. So this thing about deposits and collections, and deposits and collections. Give me a new slide. I'm going to save this. Save as videos, the bureaucrat. And we're just going to call this deployed. Bring that down. Some collections. All right. Grab this. Okay, what I really want to get to is I want to get to this example that I haven't read yet. All right. Service member arrives in Pakistan April 1st. Member is authorized to make an initial deposit on June 1st. However, the service member is out on a mission on May 11th. Remember, why wouldn't they be eligible on May 1st? Member's initial deposit is limited to the amount earned. Oh, look at that. So, you have to earn the money. You can't just... So, in this example, the service member becomes eligible to make a contribution after 30 days, but they don't have any money that they've earned after they became eligible to deposit. So let's see, let's capture that with, oh wait, you know. Service member is eligible to contribute on 1 May 18. But they need to have earned, what is it? Earned income after the 1st of May. They have to have earned income after the 1st of May. So they can contribute is 1 June. Okay. All right. So let's go back to this example. All right. A normal deposit would only authorize the member to contribute money earned on the first 15th paydays. The member may present an authorization letter stating that they weren't available. Okay. Contribute all money that they would deposit pre-tax. This would increase the max deposit to include the 15th, the 1st. The commanding officer cannot authorize backdated interest. Interest will accrue based on the deposit date. Blick. All right. The member arrives in designated area. On the 1st, the member is authorized to make an initial deposit on for the amount accrued beginning May 1st. The member may make additional deposits until departure. Okay? Member arrives in a combat zone on June 19th. Is authorized to make an initial deposit on August 1st for the amount accrued beginning. Okay. A member is TDY to Sinai. The member is authorized to make their initial deposit on the 1st, okay, for the amount accrued in the Sinai. All right, let's grab those examples. All right. I'm going to look at my, see what I got going here. All right, looks all good. I am still looking for somebody to tell me if they can hear the aircraft outside. All right, snipping tool. All right. Received for all should be submitted to DFAS, posted. This can be accomplished. Yeah, there's a bunch of contributing service member inquiries. Please take into consideration before submitting an inquiry. Deposits contributed can take several months to appear in my pay. All right, how do I withdraw? A savings deposit plan account payment, including all interest, will be issued automatically after 120 days. Upon returning from deployment, deposits will continue to draw interest for up to 90 days. If the prefers, they may request final withdrawal at any time before following return, but may forfeit some interest by doing so. Ensure any allotments are stopped. Funds will be transferred. When a member contributes to the SDP, the member is not authorized to withdraw the funds until returning from deployment. However, there are exceptions. Okay. All right, so let's just grab that. So this is a really funny little program because it seems to just, it's like you can get extra money while you're deployed. All right. So let's stop looking at that. Go look at DFAS deployed soldiers. Let's see. Pay tables. What extra pay do soldiers get? Okay. Deployment, TCS, TDY deployment, active duty deployment, TCS. I don't know if I care about that. Special pay and incentives. Basic pay and allowances are only part yada yada. Hardship, assignment, and hardship duty incentive pay. And there's like 60 ways you can get. And I don't know that I want to get into that. Hardship duty pay. I'm not sure I'm concerned about the pay so much as TSP deployed soldiers. See what happens. Huh. Well, this is an article. I mean, as much as I like these .com sources, I really prefer government sources. TSP benefits that apply to members of the military who return to federal civilian service. And that's not what I want. TSP, deployment plan. All right, let's see what one of these says. Understand your pay and entitlements. Family separation allowance comes. These are the entitlements. I'm not really concerned. Check your leave and earnings. Take advantage of extra earnings and investment. I talked about. So, as part of the military blended retirement system, all service members contribute 3% of their base pay to the thrift savings plan each pay period. The government also automatically contributes 1% and will match your own contribution up to 5%. This makes deployment a great time to increase your contribution. Do not be okay. They say it's a great time, but see, this is the thing that always gets me about these articles is they'll they'll hint that there's something going on, but they'll never explain exactly. All right, you can contribute up to $23,000. These contributions can go into your Roth or any combination of the two as long as they don't exceed. Okay. The elective deferral limit only applies to your payroll contributions and does not include matching contributions if you contribute at least 5%. All right. When you deploy, you can contribute far more. If you do it right, you can contribute up to 6. All right. All right. So let's see. It applies to the total amount of all contributions made on behalf of an employee in a calendar year. This limit includes employee contributions, agency service automatic, and matching. Working for multiple federal agencies or services in the same year as having is considered having one employer. Because so many military parents have learned the basics of contributing, we're getting a lot of questions about maximizing those. Military pay in a combat zone is exempt from federal and state taxes, and service members are also eligible for higher contributions to TSP. Note that that last sentence means your higher limits are still available if your deployment is less than a full calendar year. Okay. I'm going to go back up and grab this. I just like, in this case, this isn't a government website that I'm looking at, but at the same time, what I'm seeing is reference to internal revenue codes, which I can use that to fact check anything here. A lot of times, what I'll do, you'll hear me say, don't Google um, these things. It's kind of like certainly back in the old days when Wikipedia was brand new. Wikipedia was a great place to start, but a terrible place to try to reference. So you might go to Wikipedia and you might look up some piece of information. But then if it was useful information, you'd go to a more credible source. All right, let's see. Before, during, and after your time in exempts, tax exempt count towards the IRS rules allow military members to contribute up to the annual additional limit when serving in a tax exempt zone. Later in this post, I'll answer the question. Just check my golly, dude. I'm not getting paid 66 a year, let alone during this deployment. We're getting money for this. Yeah, okay. The TSP has some of the world's largest passively managed index funds. Military pay in a combat zone is exempt from taxes. All right. That's a key point. All right. I would not volunteer to deploy to a combat zone just for tax-free pay. It's editorializing. That's the other thing. Short answer. TSP contributing combat deployments. Yet not even submarine deployments. No kidding. My personal finance bloggers talk boldly about frugality versus deprivation and work-life balance. And Jesus, combat zones. DoD. It is a general term used by IRS. Includes all the following hostile areas. All right. Service in an active duty is designated by executive order. Yeah, they're defining. What does the limit look like? Review the chart. This limit includes employee yeah, that's not exactly fine print. The $69,000 limit now includes your. Oh, interesting. All right. Because that limit includes the. To make things even more complicated for the bureaus, you'll have to spread your 5% miss some of the match. By the definition of company, you're getting special pay, you've lived without the money, okay, bonus money. These additional limits per calendar, not just for the deployment. When you deploy to a combat zone, you're eligible for the additional limits for the rest of the calendar year. You're contributing to. And after I posted, it took me a couple of more emails with TSP to confirm it. When you return home, any further contributions for the rest of the year are subject again. You cannot exceed Roth any time during the calendar year in addition. As much. Then you're eligible for the additional limit of your pay. It was only untaxed when you were in the combat zone, but you get to use the additional limits. Okay. Sell some investments. Seek out professional advice. I'm not getting into that. Boards on if you're a junior officer who's taken out a career starter loan during college, attempted to max. And this starts to get into some really. And you can go on and on about these things. The big deal is you got the savings deposit program. You've got this thing with TSP, and now let's look at one of the things that they talked about was mid-career mid-career bonus Army. Continuation pay. All right, that's his reserve drilling. I don't want that. Continuation pay is a direct cash payout. It's like a bonus available to service members who are part of BRS. It's targeted at mid-career mark, payable between completion of 8, but not payable between completion of 8 years of service, but before completion of 12. Okay, most service members will be eligible for contingent, but the timing and the amount is determined by your service. All right. Well, let's just talk regular Army active duty. Continuation pay, excuse me. Targeted mid-rank. Oops. I keep doing that where I cover up my chat. Let's see if anybody's listening. Somebody's out there. Hey, I don't know if you can hear the aircraft taking off in the background, but I'd be curious what you have to say. Active duty. Their basic pay. Pay rate multipliers may be based on service-specific retention needs, similar to career field incentives and reenlistment bonuses. Each service determines and publishes its own guidance. Continuation pay, along with other specialty pay bonuses and incentives, can be invested in your up to the maximum allowed by yours. If you hit the maximum too quickly, you could lose out on government automatic matching. All right. All right, let's see. Oops, what did I do there? I'm gonna take another snip. I got a really big train in the background right now. I'm curious if my microphone's working or if I just wasted my money. Continuation rates. Let's go see. I'd love to know what the current continuation rates are. That didn't help very much. Uh, 2024 Army active duty continuation pay. All right, well, let's just look here. I don't think this is going to give us very much. That's terrible. We looked at that. Continuation pay for soldiers. That appears to be exactly the same information. Compares. Yeah, somebody's just mining SEO. Let's see if this gives us any numbers. Huh. Includes a continuation pay provision as a way to encourage at 12 years. All right, well, I'm going to save this thing. And then active duty service members and National Guard and Reserve service members in a pay status are eligible for continuation pay when they complete between their 8th and 12th year of service, which is calculated. Continuation pay may be paid at any time during this period as determined by the service. What is 637-1? SAMR 637-1. Let's Secretary of the Army. That might be what the SAMR is about. Assignment incentive pay. I don't think this is going to help me. It's going to actually take me in a circle. Yeah. Let's try this. What is SAMR U.S. Army? Secretary of the Army, Manpower Reserve Affairs. This is weird. So apparently ASA-MNRA publishes these memos. Yeah, everything useful, right? Resources, messages to the force, quality of life, demographics, human resources, sedum. Man, not seeing anything useful here. Suicide prevention, demographics, total manpower mix, FAR. Let's see. Transfers of workload. Borrowed military manpower. These are some old. Oh, look at 2015. That isn't interesting. All right, let's go back here. So each service will determine when and at what rate service members. What if a service member is eligible to opt into BRS, but it's 12 years? Yeah, I'm not concerned about those guys. So you get 2.5 multiplier of your regular monthly base pay. Regular monthly base pay. Get a new slide here. See, the thing is, 2.5% of your regular monthly base pay does not exactly make me want to jump out of my jump out of my shorts. Um, and I wanted to get this. So, like normally what I do when I'm first conducting research is kind of do a survey, right? Like a lit review. And then I start moving on to like the analytical portion of it. And I'm starting to come up on this. The the next thing, the there's something about SGLI and deployment that this guy was curious about, and I don't know what it is. SGLI. SGLI while deployed. When you deploy and have elected less than the maximum, you may increase SGLI. Okay. To be not to be insured or insured less than a maximum. Yeah, okay. Will be a change in duty status will automatically increase SGLI. Member is not required to change. So like some writing not to be insured. Theater of combat operations increase to the maximum amount. All right. Let's see if I can get that from DFAS. Ah, look at this. It's in the FMR. And by the way, for those of you who watch this thing, I've gotten to the point with the FMR, the Financial Management Regulation, that every single time I see it, I'm looking for current, because a lot of times the archived ones are recommended to me, and they can be really, really wrong. Deploy. Let's see. Effective in accordance with this, a member deployed to a combat theater of operations must be insured to the maximum amount of coverage under the HGLI program while deployed. The maximum amount of coverage begins on the date of deployment. Midnight last day of the month the services return from deployment, their coverage will return. Any member required to have such coverage will be reimbursed under section. All right, I see what's going on here. So this, and what I want to do is I want to make sure that I capture which part of the FMR this is in. So I'll scoot up here. Oh yeah, completely useless, right? Because of that. It's gonna be this. All right, and who pays? Regardless of whether you're covered, if members are drilling for, you're still responsible for paying. And that's not what I want. Service members is low cost, provides life insurance to find out if you're eligible. The question I'm going after right now is whether or not a service member on active duty, whether they pay for the SGLI um, or the government does. Server members who reduce, all service members eligible. Want to know who pays. Payment, yeah, this won't pay if I die wearing privately purchased. Good lord. It's always funny to me how simple questions, how difficult it is to get simple questions answered. It's a program of low cost for can be used to protect security. Premiums are currently regardless of the member's age. Effective, available, and they changed that. Do SGLI premiums come out of LES? Show increase in you will also see a credit for the same. What the heck? If you're serving in a combat zone, authorities reimbursement of premium deductions for service members who are serving. When you deploy and have elected less than, you may increase, but you will also see a credit for the same amount. Does the soldier or the army pay SGLI premium? Who pays for SGLI? If you have SGLI, you pay, it's automatically taken out of your base pay. This seems to be what I'm looking for. This is good. I always like the VA website. All right, so let's grab this. New slide. Paste that. Think. Soldier base. That's that. And what I'm really, that's VGLI. All right. Wood soldier for the army pay. All right. All right. Let's see. There's one of those old websites. GLI, there's retiring separating. Service VGLI disabled. All right. Well, based off of all of that, I think I got the pieces that I need to start putting this together. Um, well, I appreciate everybody who stuck with me through this. Yeah, I appreciate you guys sticking with me through this. This is always a lot of fun for me, and I'm learning. So um, I'm going to put this together into a more coherent brief, record it, edit it, and then you'll see it in a little bit. In the meantime, uh, if you have any questions, leave a comment. We'll start researching them. Take care.